The original custom of Aleppo was not to eat dried legumes such as beans, lentils, and chickpeas on Pesach. Therefore, foods such as fasulye, mejadra, hummus, and tahine were not served on Pesach and Halab. This custom was mentioned by Hakam Abraham Hamwe, who was born in Halab in the 19th century, and is Mahzor Bet Behira. And it was also discussed in the book Derech Eretz. However, the book Derech Eretz noted that the custom of Halab changed during World War I when there were food shortages, and the rabbis permitted all dried legumes for Pesach. The reason for this custom is because it was common to grow, process, package, and sell dried legumes alongside wheat flour and other grains which could become hametz. Rabbi Shlomo Saka Antebi quoted Hakam Ishaq Tawil alav Shalom, who said that the reason for not having hummus on Pesach is not because the word hummus sounds like hametz, but rather because hummus is a dried legume and it is included in the custom of not eating dried legumes on Pesach. In Halab, the custom of not eating dried legumes on Pesach did not extend to fresh legumes and vegetables such as peas and string beans. Based on that, fresh corn would not be included in the custom to be stringent, but dried corn, such as popcorn, would not be eaten. But it was customary to eat rice on Pesach and Halab. In the 19th century, Hakam Mordechai Abadi wrote the following in his book Ashrei Ha'am. And here in Aram Soba, everyone eats rice. No one is stringent, but they check it 6 or 7 times very well until they wouldn't find any more wheat in the rice, even once in 50 years. Hakam Mordechai Abadi was Hakam Adlub Abadi's grandfather. Hakam Abraham Hamwe also wrote that the custom of Aleppo was to eat rice on Pesach in his Mahzor Bet Behira. However, in the 20th century, it became customary to check the rice 3 times, as recorded by Hakam Ishaq Shahebar in his book Ru'ay Ne'eman. What was the custom with regards to legumes and rice in other Middle Eastern and North African communities? In the beginning of the 20th century, in his book Eretz Hayim, Rabbi Haim Menashe Tehon wrote that the custom of the Sephardim in Safed, a city in northern Israel, was not to eat legumes on Pesach, with the exception of fresh beans that were moist, and that was also the custom in Salonika, Greece. Similarly, Rabbi Moshe Suissa documented the custom of Morocco in his book Ateret Abot of not eating dried legumes on Pesach, but they did eat fresh ones. He added that some Moroccans do not eat hummus on Pesach, but others do. He also wrote that most Moroccans do not eat rice on Pesach, but some did check the rice and eat it. In the 19th century, in Baghdad, the Ben Ish Hai wrote in his book Rab Pe'alim that some were stringent and did not eat rice on Pesach, but that most people in Baghdad ate rice on Pesach after checking it 3 or 4 times. He also wrote that they were not stringent with legumes on Pesach, but they did not eat hummus on Pesach, because the hummus was imported in sacks that were also used for flour, and that sometimes actual hametz got stuck on the chickpeas. The Ben Ish Hai also noted the custom of Izmir, Turkey, of not eating rice on Pesach. In the beginning of the 20th century, Rabbi Rafael Haron ben Shimon described the custom of Jerusalem in his book Sha'ar HaMifkad. Among the Sephardim, the rabbis and pious people were stringent and did not eat rice on Pesach, while others, especially those with limited means, were lenient. They were also lenient with the children and fed them rice on Pesach, and all were lenient with legumes and ate them on Pesach. Interestingly, we find a difference in custom between Tunisia and Jerba, which is an island off the coast of Tunisia, with regards to eating legumes on Pesach. In Jerba, they ate rice and legumes, including hummus, but in Tunisia, they did not eat any legumes, but they did eat rice. The reason why they didn't eat hummus in Tunisia was because sometimes the chickpeas were roasted with hametz. All of this was recorded by Rabbi Moshe Chalfon HaKohen in his book Berit Kihuna, which was published in the year 1943. So the original custom of Halab was to refrain from eating dried legumes on Pesach. The custom changed in Halab during World War I due to food shortages. Therefore, the custom is unknown to the families who came to our community from Halab in the 1990s. Furthermore, this custom was not preserved in the Halabi community in Argentina under the leadership of Hakam Yitzhak Shehebad, who was born in Halab in the year 1912 and grew up after the custom had already been changed in Halab. But here in New York, many families have preserved the custom and still do not eat foods like pasulia, mejadra, hummus, or tahina on Pesah. However, it was always customary to eat rice on Pesah, after carefully checking the rice to make sure no wheat kernels were mixed in with the rice.